whole grain pie crust. 2 cups of whole wheat pastry flour. Whole wheat pastry flour is made from soft wheat. There's 2 kinds of wheat, soft wheat, hard wheat. Hard wheat is bread flour, soft wheat is pastry flour. 2 cups of whole wheat pastry flour, 1 cup of unbleached white flour. Actually, the white flour is made from hard wheat. I'm going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then take a fork, just a regular kitchen fork, mix that up. So it's 3 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of canola oil. And I'm just gonna pour that around. Now here's the trick. Quick, light, short strokes. Using the back of the fork, turn the bowl, use a metal bowl, cold if you can, same with any pie crust, and just mix that around. See how that's coming together? We don't need to keep working it. We don't want to work any gluten out of the flour. And although soft wheat has less gluten than bread flour, it certainly does have some. That's all you need to do. That's it right there. The less you work it, the lighter and flakier your pie crust will be. Now, 1/3 of a cup of ice water. And I'm just going to pour that all around. And then same thing, using the back of the fork, mix it in until it begins to come together in a ball. That's it. That's all I want to do. Now, you can see it looks like there's even pieces of flour there. That's okay. Don't worry about it. This is enough for a top and a bottom pie crust. Now, damp sponge, roll it on the board, on your cutting surface, and put down a piece of parchment paper. Okay? And then half of the dough, just pull it out. Don't worry if it feels like it's going to fall apart. It'll all come together. And just lightly put it into a ball like that. And then with a rolling pin, any kind of rolling pin that you like. This my brother Seamus made for me many, many years ago for Christmas. It's made out of a piece of cherry wood. It's all one piece. And just keep rolling it. See how the edges are a little crumbly? Don't worry about it. Better to have it a little crumbly than too wet, which is going to give you a hard pie crust that will not really take to a fork well with the filling. Okay, and just roll that out. Just be careful, short strokes. You could put a little extra flour if you wanted on your rolling pin. Looks like I'm going to need a little bit around these edges just to be able to get that out. So that's half of the pie crust. And now I have another crust that I've made. I'll show you in a minute. But this, I've got 2 glass plates, a regular Pyrex, and this is a deep dish, which would also be a fun pie for whether it's savory or sweet. And then pick up the parchment paper, invert it into the pan. Just lightly pull off the parchment paper, and then very delicately just push the crust into the bottom of the pan. Now I guarantee you once the pie is done, this will all look beautiful. And then just take any excess to kind of pull around the edges, because remember, the edges are closer to the heat. The edges cook more quickly. We want them to be a little thicker than the center of the pie crust. All right, I've got a few extra pieces here. Great, and one more piece to fill in over here. And we are good to go. And then just starting. So here I have, let's see, thumb and middle finger with the other middle finger or your pointer finger just pushing through. This is a better edge than using the tines of a fork if you're going to make a pie shell. Because again, if you use tines of a fork, it may just get too dark and the edge of the crust burns. This looks pretty. Great. Last piece, take a fork. Just the purpose of doing this is to get air in there so you don't get bubbles. Just go around the edge, kind of stick the fork in, lift it up, push in, lift up, push in, lift up, just a tiny little bit. We are going to put this into a 375-degree oven, and it will take, in this glass pie pan, probably about 25 minutes. The biggest problem with whole grain pie crust is that oftentimes people do not cook them long enough. So here we have, it's just going right into the center of the oven for about 25 minutes. This pie crust I made in like a ceramic pan. At this point, you can take the whole crust out. Do you see? It's beautiful brown, golden brown, and I don't know if you can hear that, but it is really solid. You want to make sure that it's cooked well, that it's baked well, and you have a perfect whole grain pie shell. Enjoy.